I started there right out of high school, so in 1978, and I graduated in the summer of 1981. It is what started my library career. My first library job was at the Steele Library as a student worker, and that's what really started my love of working in libraries, although I went to public instead of academic. Well, it was a complete surprise. Because I did kind of zoom through NKU. I was there for 3 years. I was really focused on finishing my degree and getting out. So I was really surprised to be honored in this way. But it was a wonderful experience. Charlotte Neely, who was one of my anthropology professors, was there as well. So I was glad to reconnect with her, and I know she has since retired. So she's no longer teaching there, but had been very influential on me while I was a student there. So getting to revisit campus in a new way as an alum was a great experience. Well, I think just in working there and seeing what libraries did, I just remembered how much I had used libraries as a child before I was in college, and I had never really thought about working there, but having spent that time working there, I really enjoyed it. The people were great to work with. Rory was my supervisor. She stayed there for a very long time, and I just thought it was a real career possibility for me, and based on how much I had loved both using libraries as a child and then working there as a student. I had a lot of experience in libraries and in all different types of libraries before coming to this public library. I came into a department that I was really not familiar with. It's called, at that time it was called Institutions Books by Mail Bookmobile Department, and now it's called Outreach Services. They go out to retirement communities, to schools, to nursing homes, to jails, we mail things to people who are homebound. So a lot of services to people who can't use the library in a traditional sense. And I stayed in that department for 5 years, and it was a really great experience. This is something I think about a lot, is how libraries have changed over time. When I was first working in libraries, it was a very manual process. The whole computerization of the catalog itself, the circulation process, simply had not yet happened. And so sometimes I will tell newer librarians, like, here's how we used to have to do holds, or and they're just horrified, frankly, at the kind of manual process and how much work was involved in that in a different way. What I think has been the biggest kind of impact of the change that's happened is that the reference materials and those kinds of specialized resources that you used to have to come to a main library to get are now available at every library location because they're all online. So you can go to every library location and use them. You can use them any place where you have internet access as long as you have your library card. So it's really made those resources so much more accessible to people. And as librarians, that's something that we want, is that information access to be there wherever you are, so making it easier for you to use. Plus, they are full text, so the ease of using those materials is greatly improved over when you used to have to look it up in an index and then go find the magazine and make photocopies, once we had photocopiers, or make notes before that. So just the access to information that people has expanded so much over the time that I've been working in libraries. Since I've been with the library, we've had a lot of changes. Some of them, slightly before I became director, some after. First was just bringing internet access into the public, which was a huge change for libraries across the country. And I've had the good fortune to visit libraries in other countries, and it is not as common to have public internet access in some parts of the world as it is here in the United States. And so having that internet access has really been a big part of what libraries offer, and that was coming like 1998, 1999, so just as I was coming in. But then that let us put in a true web-based online catalog, which has really changed how people search for items in our collection. And of course, all of the online databases, online resources that are now in full text has been a tremendous change. The advent of ebooks has also been a huge change for us. The volume of use that we see in the past 20 years, our circulation has increased by 50%, but our funding has remained flat. So handling that increased demand, that increased expectation that every item will be available quickly. So we really work to get things to people on the same day that they're published and available to purchase, but that requires staffing, the materials budget, all of the pieces that make the shipping to just get it to each branch in time for people to check out the newest James Patterson novel the same day they could have it delivered to their doorstep by Amazon or pick it up at a bricks and mortar bookstore. So adding in the makerspace, bringing in the computerization. We've done a lot of facilities work, really looking at how our facilities are an important part of the service that we provide. Just in every aspect of what we do. Just after school, kids coming in, unattended and participating in programs and things. The services that we offer for workforce development, for school readiness, for third grade reading, just all of those levels have really been increased over the years. There's been tremendous change in libraries in 20 years. 19 and a half. I'll leave with 19 and a half years as director. So. Well, I'm trying not to plan too much yet and give myself maybe a month off to think about it, but I have gone over the years to a few courses by Ruby Payne. She does workshops on poverty and understanding poverty, how difficult it is to move out of poverty, and she does a facilitator training that you can take and then go to other organizations and present these workshops. So that's one of the first things on my list, is to take those trainings to go and do these poverty workshops for other organizations. I serve on a number of boards as well that I'm going to be continuing on after I retire. Well, I think libraries are more important now than ever because there is so much information available that as an individual it would be impossible for you to know about all of those information sources, afford to purchase them, because everyone has this perception that because it's free to use a library or some resources on the internet are free, that everything is free, and that is simply not the case. Often if you want really good, reliable, reputable information, you do have to pay to purchase that, and so libraries are still doing that for people. We are certainly providing internet access for those who do not have it at home or in their access to it at their workplace. So people who most need to be in touch with those resources sometimes have the least ability to do that. So that's another strong purpose for that. They're also a place that people come to see their neighbors, to connect with each other in person rather than remotely on social media or over the phone or by text. And so they can come in and sit and read the paper and see their neighbors or see the library staff that they've gotten to know and have a personal connection as well.